Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Grant.
You look nice today.
Thank you. You do too.
Thanks. Do you want to talk about Game Master Monday a little bit?
Sure.
Cool. Um,
Good talk.
Good talk. Next week.
We'll be playing something, probably.
Yeah. So Jenny and I are sitting down together today to give you a state of the podcast and also do a little game chatster Monday.
Bad title.
It's not. I'm sorry. I don't see you coming up with ideas for the name of the chat show.
Yeah, whatever. It'll
Great.
work.
Fucking ass. I hate millennials. All they do is complain.
I hate Grant. I hate board games. I hate tabletop games.
We know.
I don't, actually. I fucking do one for a living now. Jesus.
A living? Are you getting paid for this?
I mean, I got a Freddy Fish t-shirt.
Are you union?
Okay. Yeah, man.
So this is Game Chatster Monday. It's something we're trying out. Jenny and I have had a lot of cool things happen to us over the course of this year. We got nominated for a Crit Award for Best Podcast Hosts. We lost to the Infinite Tavern.
Yeah.
Which is great.
You know what? To be fair, I understand.
I understand. The Infinite Tavern rules. And are
Love
way
them.
more insightful than us, and actually know how to play the games they play when they do their miniseries.
Because we'll be honest with you, we'll schedule an episode, and then maybe 2-3 weeks later, we actually sit down to play, right?
Sometimes
Usually.
months. Sometimes
Sometimes
later.
a few months. Yeah, you do schedule these a lot in advance because you get very excited about the cast that you're playing with
Well,
all the time.
you make it sound like I only do it in advance because it's fun and exciting. I mean, it is, but it's also like because...
Grant, you have huge golden retriever energy. The minute you get a ball in your mouth, you're doing circles around the yard like a motherfucker.
This is mean, and I don't like you. Well, it's also because people are busy, and I want to make sure we lock down folks as early as possible so they can commit to a thing without being like, oh, I would love to, but it's really soon. I think there's only a handful of people on the planet who I can ask the week of to do a thing, and they'll be able to do it.
Usually me.
And it depends on your work schedule, but usually it's Rosie.
Oh, we love Rosie.
We love
Rosie's
Rosie
great.
here. Anyway, back to the Infinite Tavern. Yeah, a good show to lose to, and Amon is so handsome. It's just so nice.
Gosh damn.
Anyway, we're sitting down here to look back on every episode that we've made for the podcast, Game Master Monday. And in the immortal words of, I think it's Matchbox 20, I'm not going to look it up for this, but we're going to see how far we've come. That might have been how the song goes. Anyway.
Now you got me curious. Who did
Let's
that song?
see how far we've come. Is that even how that song goes? Is that the words of that song? This
Yeah,
bit might get cut.
that is Matchbox 20.
It is Matchbox 20? Alright, cool.
Yeah, you know your music.
Listen, there was a point in the mid-2000s where that band had a stranglehold on pop rock. I don't know what happened.
At least
2002 to 2005. We're like, yeah, fuck yeah, Matchbox 20, and then nothing.
I mean,
Anyway.
isn't that just how it goes?
I hope this is the content people wanted from a chat show from us. Because that's what
Just
they're getting.
talking about bullshit. Let's just talk about Matchbox 20 for an hour and a half, yeah.
Anyway, the time of this recording, a New Village Combat episode went up. That's weird, isn't it?
I do love Bella's comment.
Cool, that's how we're going to talk about it. Let's not talk about Village Combat. Let's talk about our show.
Yeah, okay.
It was October 10th of 2022. I almost said 2002.
In the far-off year of 2002.
On the anniversary of the September 11th World Trade Center attacks, Jenny and I, ages 11 and 8 respectively, looked at each other and said, we're going to make a podcast one day.
And I said, great, what is a podcast?
And I said, I do not know. Did I ever tell you?
I didn't even know what 9/11 was at the time.
I've been making audio shows since I was about 18 years old. And even back then, when I was 18, we were making this audio show, and me and my buddies were like, how in the world are we ever going to put this anywhere? How can we even release this? We don't know how to put things on iTunes. We had to release episodes on Bandcamp That was all we knew how to do because it was free. They didn't have iPods to cast upon.
And now look at you. You're everywhere podcasts are available.
Yep. And I've made 3 of these bad boys now, and this is the one that worked. So, I'm a clout chaser. I finally went to the bustling, lucrative career of tabletop RPG game master.
Which, to be fair, not a bad title to own.
I guess not, especially when people like you for it. And that's all I care about.
Let's talk about the show.
Let's talk about the show.
Where are we starting?
Game Master Monday's Origins.
Okay.
This show proper launched on October 10th of 2022, like I said. And we had done a previous version of this show on a previous podcast before called Fantasy First Friday, which was essentially me getting really into actual play podcasts during the pandemic and then wanting to make one, but also already having a podcast that I was already working on. So I worked.
Damn you, Matt Mercer. You're so charismatic.
It wasn't Matt Mercer. I've been very on the record of saying that the person that got me into this thing was Branson Reese from Rude Tales of Magic.
I know. I like Matt Mercer a bunch, though.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I don't care for him.
Really? That's fascinating.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean,
so if he wanted to be on the show, you'd turn him down?
Oh no, I'd shit my pants and run around my house. I think
like,
Matt Mercer.
Whoa, that guy voiced Ganondorf.
For me, it'd be like, that guy is gonna voice Vincent in the Final Fantasy remake.
Is he?
Yeah, he's playing
that
Vincent
rules. Actually, go Matt
in the next Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
It's a good pick. No, Matt Mercer, of course, is a great game master and a really talented voice actor and a nice dude as far as I can tell. I'd love to have him on the show. My personal taste is not 4-hour-long high fantasy every week.
That's fair.
So that's why I can't get into him. That's why I'm a little bit more on the Brennan Lee Mulligan side of things because I like his pacing better and his variety of world building better.
That's fair.
But I prefer Branson Reese over both of them, and I prefer Leah from Save the Stars over both of them, and I prefer Rah Rah from The Heart is a Dungeon over both of them. As per usual, I think like the most popular things are popular for a reason, but there's always something way cooler happening in the indie scene. You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look at Undertale.
Look at Undertale. So our show launches officially with in spooky season. We were born during Halloween time.
Yeah,
is when we were born. I feel like the first season, if you want to call it that, of the show was very much so like we gotta put things out of necessity now. So let's just make a whole bunch of stuff real fast with our friends and then hope for the best, right?
Yeah, and it worked out pretty well because we had Saturday the 14th first by Rena
Henze. Rena Henze. Rena Henze, I consider the first, like, true friend of Game Master Monday proper. Officially, second friend of the show. The first being Brian, who made Brains and Brawn.
Right.
But Rena Henze very graciously put out Saturday the 14th, got really excited about us playing it, and that had our pals Chris Dunn, Katie Terry, and Evan Offenbacher.
Of Defeating the Dungeon fame.
Of Defeating the Dungeon fame. So yeah, that was like that's the first GMM episode. It was originally recorded as a Fantasy First Friday episode.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember, who did I play for that one?
You played Walker Ranger.
That's right, Walker Texas Ranger.
Yeah. You played a character named Walker Texas Ranger who for some reason acts a lot like Columbo. It
was really funny to me for some reason to do a bit character and then have him be a completely different bit. Yeah.
I mean, that whole episode is a lot of people like kind of playing themselves, except for you and Katie, who were like, we're gonna be big dudes.
Well, I don't know if Walker was a big dude.
Bigger than Evan for sure.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure. At least 5'10".
Chris's character was just like skeptical doctor the whole time.
Which is fine.
Borderline serial killer.
And his character fascinating. Didn't he like end up in a tree at some point? Like,
yeah, he climbed a tree for some reason that wasn't part of the game, so I made something up for it. That was also my first time running Call of Cthulhu, so like I'm hurting 4 people with cat energy while also like running a module, which I'm not great at as a person in general, while also learning how to play Call of Cthulhu.
Which is not your favorite thing to run. And then you learn that I'm very good at it. And
You-
you've slated me into Call of Cthulhu for every time we run it.
You are fantastic at Call of Cthulhu. I don't know what
It's
it
fun.
is with you in that game, but like it just instantly clicked. But we'll
Oh,
talk
God,
about that later.
I love Call of Cthulhu, but yeah,
It's
we'll
great.
get into that more. Call is kind of what inspired Fallen Kingdom's rolling system of like a D100, and you get the lower result, I think.
I really like D100 systems in
They're fun.
general. Yeah. They did a good job over there at Chaosium with that game. But yeah, Saturday the 14th rips. Rena is a brilliant Call of Cthulhu GM and designer. They've made, gosh, so many modules for that game. You can hear them play and GM on the Old Ways podcast, which is the podcast that got me into horror APs in the first place. I still love that show. So yeah, go check that out. I think Rena exclusively posts on Blue Sky now.
Yeah.
So you'll have to find them there.
Which is fine. Fuck Elon.
Yeah. Fuck Elon, but I am stuck on Twitter. That is where we still get the most engagement, so I have to be there.
Twitter may be ass, but they have good memes.
Yeah, at least on Twitter, when I post that something is happening, it will get more than 3 likes. I love you, Threads. You are a great community-based social media, but when it comes to actually hyping your project and getting eyes on it, boy, you do not show up. Cool place to meet more people for the show. Horrible place to self-advertise.
Swamp Troll Witches.
Oh,
This is one that you just played.
Yeah, our buddy Luke Simmons, who runs the Cats Have No Lord social medias and Discord, put that one in my orbit. I think that one was the result of a vote. I don't remember, to be completely honest. But
I don't remember much about Swamp Troll Witches. What was it about?
this one kind of was born out of necessity because we launched the show in early October, and it quickly hit us like, oh shit, we're going to need to put out something every other week now instead of just every month.
We're gonna need more content.
Yeah, so I did a solo run of Swamp Troll Witches. I played a little witch. Her name was London Bridges.
That's right.
Yeah. And she was kicked out of her former coven and went to go shopping at a night market because she's working on a potion. And then Mean Girl style ran into her old coven and awkwardness ensued. That
You
one,
can't sit with us.
yeah, that
You
that
can't
one,
craft with us.
That one I didn't go as deep into the mechanics of it because I treated it like Swamp Troll, which is a solo RPG, and with solo RPGs I like to play my game and then convert it into like a journal or a script. So I did that. So everything that I reported as that character was the result of me legitimately playing the game, but like I didn't say I'm rolling this now.
You're always
was-
braver than me when it comes to solo RPGs, because I feel like if I were to record a solo RPG, it'd be like 90 minutes of me going, oh, I see. And then this happens? You know, like that joke of like the guy like doing an audiobook, but like he's like reading it to himself silently.
Right.
He's like, oh, you meant out loud?
Jenny is just recording a car manual, just reading the book out loud.
And this is how
Yeah.
you operate a Civic.
Recording a solo RPG is so fucking trippy because you're basically just doing like an audiobook that you wrote yourself
That you're making.
and you have
like-
no one else
like
to
right
lean
now.
on. Yeah. I think we've only ever done 2 on the show, this being the first one. I like doing them. They are so awkward to record, even for someone who likes the sound of their own voice like I do. You know, so it's like I had a lot of fun doing it though. Luke is a genius. Oh my god, if you're not following Cats Have No Lord already, you really should, because Luke puts out so much cool stuff. I'll mention Luke again later, but for your benefit, Jenny, Luke was the one who hosted the Door Jam that led
That's right.
to us making Otherworldly Flesh.
And God, do I love Otherworldly Flesh. That was such a fun little
One of our greats,
one-shot.
one of our goats. Spooky Manor.
The
Jenny's
game that made me hate you.
Jenny's grand debut. No, wait, no, I GM'd that.
You did GM Spooky
I
Manor
always
because
run
I was the
Parsley.
one suffering as the little girl who
I love Parsley so fucking much.
I love the idea of Parsley. I hate being on the receiving end of being a player of Parsley.
Well, I'll ask this then.
But I've done it twice now.
Yeah.
So, there's got to be something there.
We've done Parsley a few times for the show. This was technically our second time ever playing in.
Right, because the first time was the 6-Gun Showdown.
For Fantasy First Friday, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was also your first time editing an episode.
That's right. I think I did a really good job with this one because I was, not to toot my own horn here, I was just looking up like 8-bit renditions of like classical music for that one. Because I was like, this is a 80s video game played on an old Amiga PC, right?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't they just have shitty chiptune classical?
Yeah, no, I think you got the vibe down a lot. I know we had some like technical difficulties with my audio on that one. So like the leveling wasn't like perfect, but we did our best.
I don't remember if we had, but if you were a little quiet or a little loud, then
this was the era. Okay, so before we did Defeating the Dungeon, right? There was a point in time where if too many microphones were plugged into my laptop at that time, my old shitty one, then like one of the mics would just give up and go full crackle mode. So you had to pull like the audio from the other tracks that weren't shitty. So you had to like boost me off of your audio, and
that's right.
And that sucked to do.
I remember, yeah.
Luckily, I have since learned how to actually edit and set up microphones, and have gotten a new laptop, so we don't have that problem as much anymore.
And thank God, because let me tell you, I suddenly am getting like war flashbacks of like DMing you and being like, Grant, this sucks.
What was that for?
Of the audio recording.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where it was like, listen, man, I love it. We did a great job with this one, but like, we gotta fix the microphone situation.
Yeah. Luckily we did. Luckily we figured it out.
Luckily we did.
These next few didn't have that problem, fortunately.
Wasn't that one where I tried to turn both into a werewolf and a vampire?
Yeah, that was me not understanding the instructions of the game at all. I think this is this is such a Game Master Monday fucking episode. It's Grant doesn't know the rules. It's audio difficulties.
It's me getting frustrated at you for various reasons.
Yeah, no, I don't recommend going back and re-listening to this one because it sucks to listen to. But
it was fun.
It's a fun one, and I think we eventually hit our Parsley peak when UK and Leah played Z-Ward live with us. So
Z-Ward was so fucking fun.
I love Z-Ward. Then it was our election day special. Executive decision
with President Dick Richards, right?
Dick Richardson. Yep, that's right.
Dick Richardson.
My buddy Percy played Dick Richardson. That game is made by Greg Stolze, who is primarily a fiction author, but dabbled in making this political-themed RPG with no dice and no game master. But I found a way to make myself the game master, so there you go. That one
you were
had,
like the debate master at that point, right?
That was just me. So Executive Decision we played on Fantasy First Friday, just like by the book. Because the whole premise of that game is one person plays the president and then everyone else plays their cabinet trying to convince the president what's the right course of action to fix a problem.
Such a fun idea.
And the game itself is like very real problems. Like they're actual like political, like presidential caliber political discussions for you and your friends to actually have. But I put 3 assholes in the cast. This one had my buddies Thomas Lewis, Thomas Gironda, and Premel Bott.
It's a good thing they picked names that weren't those.
Thomas Lewis in our friend group goes by Percy, specifically because we're also friends with Thomas Gironda.
That's right.
And we didn't want to have 2 Thomases, and as a joke, before I ever met him, he was like, well, one of us has to go by Percy, and he decided it was him.
He doesn't have Percy as a middle name. It's just what he goes by. That's great.
Yeah. If you want to hear his comedy stylings, I think Thomas Lewis is legitimately one of the funniest people on the planet. He's a filmmaker. He's a comedian. He goes by Thomas W. Lewis. He's just so good at playing bad people. And who better to make the president at that time than Thomas Lewis? And then Premel Bott and Thomas Gironda played his cabinet. Okay, so Tom Gironda plays Dr. Willie Pfister. And
is Premel's character also a penis pun?
No, Premel's a good boy. My buddy Premel Bott. If you like sports, he hosts this great show called Prem Brulee. Because all of his takes are flamey cakes.
That's fun.
His character was named Thomas Nolan Way, which is a joke on Thomas Lewis's band, Way No Way.
Oh.
And he goes by Wayno. So Premel's character is Way No Way.
I see.
I think the real story of Executive Decision is a story of friendship with me and my old sports writer pals from the old website Holyfield. And that site died because we ran out of money. So we did this instead.
That's a shame.
Anyway, go check those 3 boys out. They're very good boys. Tom Girona doesn't make a show. He's like a lawyer in real life. So I guess if you need legal help in New Jersey, he's your guy. But the other 2, follow Sleep Battle for Thomas Lewis and find Prem Brulee wherever you enjoy podcasts.
Nice.
Together Among the Stars.
Joel Rude is a fascinating human being.
I adore him. But yeah, my very good friend Joel Rude, very frequent creative partner, talked to me about always wanting to do an actual play, and I was like, I literally have a game that was made for you. It's just about talking about space stuff and making up things as we go along, and we barely have to roll anything. He's like, great.
And it's one of my favorites. I love this Together Among the Stars episodes that you 2 did.
Thank you. I think that was the episode where I got good at editing.
It is. It really is, because you have really good sound design in that one. Joel is just phenomenal throughout.
Joel is just so good as a performer. I will never knock him for that. His brain works differently.
If you ever want to, if you're starting Game Master Monday, or if you've been a fan of the show for a while and are like, you know what, I want to go back and do the whole thing again, start there.
Truly, I would agree with that. If anybody ever wants to know what's a good entry point for Game Master Monday, what's the earliest I can start from, I think Executive Decision and Together Among the Stars are where the show really gels and finds its identity.
Yeah, for sure.
Executive Decision if you just really goofy slapstick comedy, and Together Among the Stars if you just really good world building, sound design, character study stuff that we tend to do when we get a little bit more in our head,
Yeah. Game Master Monday has 2 modes. Silly and wow, we're randomly very poignant. What the fuck?
Yeah, that 100%. Like I said, this show is modeled after Rude Tales of Magic, and that's exactly what I wanted to capture. The sheer absurdist comedy, and also the other side of absurdism, which is a very reflective, using it to really hold a mirror to society and yourself type shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've known Joel since I was 16 years old. He has not lost any of the energy since I've known him when he was 15 years old. He's had every job I can fucking think of. His current job is he does stage productions for libraries here in Vegas and Clark County.
Didn't he used to do that for a fucking cruise ship for a while? Wasn't he a pirate?
He was also a pirate. Yes, he spent a whole year just working on a touring boat that would dock in different cities, and they would give a tour of the families and kids. This is a boat. This is how a boat works. It was an instructional, educational boat that he just worked on, and also they almost got shipwrecked at one point, and he had to in the rain dangle from the mast and tie knots. And I was like, how are you a real person?
Fascinating human being, that Joel.
Fascinating human being. Just yeah, I love Joel.
Great.
Joel, come do more things on my show.
When you're not busy getting shipwrecked.
Actually, speaking of Joel and speaking about the next episode we made for the show, I've been wanting to get Joel on a Yuletide Combat Family episode for years.
Oh my god, Yuletide.
This is the show. This is the episode that put Game Master Monday on the map, and I'm not joking. This is to date.
Let me tell you, I'm very proud of that knowledge.
This is to date still our most listened to episode, and one of the most gratifying moments for me as a creator. This game was created by Tim Platt as a joke for Rude Tales of Magic. The year before we recorded this one, and I loved that episode of Rude Tales of Magic so much. I was like, I just want to play it myself. We have a small podcast. I'll invite some of our actor buddies. So that's
no one's gonna watch it.
Yeah, that's Aaron Barry, Jacob Moore, and Evan Offenbacher. Jacob and Evan, who would go on to do Defeating the Dungeon. Aaron Barry, who was just just a hilarious motherfucker, and I loved working with him. Mm-hmm. So we made it, and then on a whim, because I always tag the creator of the games in these things. I tweeted it at Tim Platt. He loves it. He liked it. He liked it a lot. He was stunned that anybody else out there wanted to try actually playing it. And then the Rude Tales of Magic Twitter shared it, and this was like peak Rude Tales of Magic. This is like Arc 2 era Rude Tales of Magic when they're introducing characters like Cum Dangle and shit, you know? So like they retweeted it and the number just go up from there. That's what really put us into a lot of people's orbits. That's what opened the door
put us
to
in orbit.
Yeah, I mean, it really opened the door to getting other podcasters on our show. This is around the time I start meeting Kay. Leah from Slay the Stars starts paying attention to us, who I was already a fan of at that point. Mm-hmm. That's the one where people were like, oh yeah, there's something
this
going on here. This is
what these fuckers are about. Gotcha.
And you know what? Credit to our cast. Aaron's hilarious. Jacob plays wholesome so good, even in a fighting game. Evan
is just unhinged.
An insane person. An actual insane person. And then you and I, of course, just bring our usual energy into that one. You're a great GM for that one. I'm glad it was you who did that one, because I wanted to play it so bad. And it has one of my all-time favorite player moves in a game ever, and it's the one I did.
Which, remind me.
It's when George Bailey lassos the moon.
That's right. And uses it as like a final smash.
Yeah.
So fucking good, man.
Aaron and I fight each other in that game, and you can see that Aaron and I both have like just really competitive energy.
You lock eyes, and neither of you wants to go home.
Oh my god, he was like, "Is that the rule?" I'm like, "Aaron, this game has no rule, so this isn't fair though." And he still beat me, the fucker.
Hey man, the dice decide your fate. Mm-hmm. And also me, who just kept track of health arbitrarily. Right.
Which I think is the way to do it. I love that we've done this game 3 times now, and every GM's philosophy has been different. Mm-hmm. I want to just like get ahead of this one now, just to cover our bases, because people keep asking me if we're going to do it again for Christmas this year. No.
Oh, weird.
We did it already. We did it already.
That's right. We did it in July.
Yeah, we did this year's Yuletide already. So,
which still has 2 of my favorite characters that I've played.
Oh yeah,
but we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Yuletides individually. But then it was our first time ever making a game.
God Bless Everyone. Is fun.
You were supposed to be in this one, right?
I was supposed to, but then I think there was like a scheduling conflict, or like I couldn't make it.
Yeah, something happened. I don't remember. You either got sick or divorced or something. I don't remember.
It wasn't divorce. I was already single by then.
I don't remember. But anyway.
So I think I was sick, actually, yeah.
This was a family affair episode, because that's my wife, Ari, who's in this episode, and then our dear friends, Michael and Elizabeth Childs.
Good people.
Came on for this one. Not much acting background between them, but you would never guess it. You would never guess. This episode is so fucking funny.
Ari was continuing her shtick of being a person named Peter whenever she's on the show.
Oh, yeah, we haven't talked about that. So, yeah, Ari made a few guest appearances on Fantasy First Friday, because, again, all I had to pull from was my friends and my wife at the time. So she would just jump on the show to do stuff, but her through line for her characters is always playing someone named Peter.
Because she was Peter the Spider.
Right, which is, to be fair, a Spider-Man joke, because she's really funny and a genius. Yeah. So she was like, I'm going to be named Peter the Spider. And I was like, oh, like, I get it. And then, like, there was a character named Peter in God Bless Us Everyone. And she was like, well, I'm going to play that for sure. Yeah. So she plays Peter. Elizabeth plays this rowdy little boy named Matthew. And Michael plays... Oh, I haven't talked about what this fucking game is. God Bless Us Everyone is a twist on A Christmas Carol, where you play as Bob Cratchit's kids to go try on Christmas Eve to do your own thing in the world of Dickensian London, to write your own story in the world of A Christmas Carol. So yeah, they play the Cratchit kids, and Michael played the oldest sister.
I feel like we've played this again for something else.
We did it as a live show to celebrate 100 members of our Discord.
That's right.
Is what we did, and we didn't record that one because it was going to be a special one-time only, anything goes after dark live show.
And then we figured out how to export those to YouTube, and we're like, well, shit, now we have egg on our face.
Well, to be fair, we never intended it to be recorded. It was going to be a special thing just for our Discord.
Right.
Which means no one gets to hear Melody's genius Tiny Tim character.
Which is a shame.
Which is a shame, because I will always have a memory of Melody chanting, blow job, blow job, in characters Tiny Tim.
The things that stick with us.
Man, I don't know what it is about God Blesses Everyone, but even in the OG episode, that game gets horny for some reason.
Doesn't someone like try to come on to Martin Van Buren during that one?
Yes. I put Martin Van Buren in that episode. And no one comes on to him, but they drink him under the table. Well, Matthew does. The 8-year-old boy drinks him under the table.
The things were different in Dickensian London.
That game gets so fucking weird, and I love it. I love that episode so much.
It's really what happens when you get a whole bunch of adults in a room to play a bunch of literal Victorian children.
Yeah, you get people drinking a president under the table.
You get sexual awakenings. 2
of them even.
It's weird that it's happened twice.
Well, Aries' character has a crush on Anita Handy in that game, and then Michael's character winds up marrying her in the future.
Oh, that's fun.
So it's a good episode. Then we had the first game where we got to do the grand debut of a new system, Starships and Settlers.
And let me tell you, what an honor.
Well, yeah, Fighter Guy really believed in us from the word go. I know they haven't been as active lately, but Brian, listen, I really do thank you for all the support and love and hype you gave to our show when you were at your peak. Really kept us going. You let us play Brains and Brawn and Starship Settlers, and I got to run a game at Brains and Brawn Con. Just really, listen, who knows where GMM would be without Brian from Fighter Guy Studios. Just really being in our corner the minute we launched. I love that dude. I'll always have a lot of respect and appreciation for what he did for us, and I hope that he puts more games out soon.
And this one had a different Ari from Rainbow Dice Club and Dice and them.
Yeah, exactly. We had Ari from Rainbow Dice Club, who I became friends with on Twitter before Rainbow Dice Club launched. I think this was around the time episode 1, the first time of that show came out. So it was a kind of like a coordinated effort thing. Like, hey, if you liked her here, you can come check her out here. And then Jack, another early supporter of ours, Jack of Dice and Them, who is another just really goofy motherfucker.
Honestly, again, one of my favorite people on the planet.
I love Jack.
Current.
I love Jack.
Holy smokes, that guy can pick apart a GM like nobody's business.
Jack has GM'd for so long that when he gets to be in the player's chair, his philosophy is, I want to wreak havoc and keep a GM on their toes.
And he's very good at it.
But also, I like that he does that for us because we love those kinds of players.
Yeah.
Because we're also
I mean, you do.
You can't phase us.
Yeah.
Oh, do you not?
I can occasionally get phased. You can phase me sometimes. That's fun.
That one's a lot of fun.
Sometimes I'll just be like, I'll be playing a show for Game Master Monday, and someone will be like, "Hey, can I do this thing you did not plan for?" And I'm like, "Fuck it."
I'd rather you didn't.
I'd rather you didn't, but you're going to anyway. That
was this game, honestly, because it was Ari, right, who in the middle of it pitched a whole other different adventure, and then we just ran with it.
Yeah. We were going. Oh fuck. We were trying to. This is the one where there was like the yo-yo competition near the end. It
wasn't a yo-yo. It was something akin to a yo-yo, though. It was like was it checkers, ping pong?
But there was like some like
it was a
Go
Fish tournament. She was a famous Go Fish player.
That's right.
Ari was the bodyguard for a famous Go Fish champion, and she had to get to her job. And then we all just decided that Go Fish champion was like the Kobe Bryant of this world, and we have to go save them.
But like the original thing was like we had to like you gave us like this plot hook of like go to this planet and something.
Yeah, you rescued a drug dealer.
We're not gonna do that.
Everyone just decided that thing was way more important, so we just beelined and improv the back half of that episode.
And it was more important. You're so right.
It was great.
Oh man.
A meeting with Obadi. Our first D&D episode.
Yeah, and we were both sorcerers. We were both elves.
You were warlocks.
Right, we were both warlocks. I always get those two mixed up.
It's fine. Sorcerer's a better class. Listen, D&D hot take, sorcerer.
I have made a fighter sorcerer, and that is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Warlock is the worst magic class. It is dumb, and I hate how it works.
I hate wizards, just personally speaking.
At least wizards get spell slots.
Yeah, fair enough.
Hello, you are a warlock. Your main thing is casting magic. You can only do it twice, though.
You can do your cantrips as much as you like. But
anything
you get
else?
2 spells.
What about wizards and sorcerers? They get so many. You get 2. This one's a lot of fun.
Even bards get spell slots. What the fuck?
I've been saying every episode's a lot of fun, but they all are.
Yeah.
And I realize we're like 30 minutes deep into this and still have like 2 years to go, so I'm going to start rapid firing these a little bit. But I personally have a lot of affection for this one because even though it came out after Starships did, this was our first ever recording with a guest TTRPG podcaster. And that was Kay from Dude Rosary Drift, another day oneer for us. Mwah. I love Kay.
We had completely different design philosophies for how we wanted to play the idea of a warlock, because he went with like your classic idea of like a crotchety old elf who's been like...
And you were a VTuber.
And I was a VTuber. I still want someone to make art of Altheria because her... Oh God, she's so fascinating to me.
I do a voice in this episode that I have never been able to recreate. The voice of Obadi just came from a deep, guttural place.
Okay, this is your middle manager speaking. We suck. Everything's bad.
I've been trying to like recapture that voice for a long time, and I cannot do it. I think it was just something weird. I was only able to do in January of 2023, and it's gone now. Obadi left as soon as that recording ended.
And to be fair, thank God.
We go into a real unhinged era here. So we have that one, and then it's Noble Beauty in the Tower.
God, Noble Beauty was so much fun. I was...
Our first game to feature full frontal twice.
Right. And one pair of boobs was obviously better.
Statistically, yes. Based on the dice roll that happened. That's by Gnome Barbarian. Good friend of the show.
So if you ever wanted to see me embarrass myself and attempt to seduce my brother...
It's a fun one. This one also has our good pal Evan Offenbacher in it.
And she won, right?
She very won. She kicked your ass. Noble Beauty in the Tower is a tower climbing game where you are competing for the love of a princess. And you gain footholds based on how you're able to woo her. And you can also like...
shove your opponent off.
Yeah, hinder your opponent. It's a PvP game. It's so much fucking fun. I want to play it for like a game night sometime with a big group of people. We did that one.
It's fine.
You can do that one with or without dice. You can do that one based on the GM or the princess's discretion on who that person thinks is doing better. But since it was like my lesbian friend and my sister, neither of which have any real stock in trying to legitimately seduce me, we mechanicized it. We gave it a dice.
You played it by the book.
Yeah, which felt morally correct.
Yeah.
Evan plays Whiskey the Grey in that one, and you play...
I know it was a really dumb pun.
It was a pun. I remember that. I mostly remember your horse in this game.
Yeah, he got laid.
I remember you and Evan's horses having a romance subplot off to the side and fucking. Then we put out the original Brains and Brawn episode.
Which... In my sheet, you did not list who was on that one. So who was on that one?
That's you, Aaron, and Jacob.
Yep.
And me.
And we were just
GM.
fucking around.
That one was Brains and Brawn, where 3 people in Las Vegas, New Mexico, learn that they're going to die. And they have to beat death in a game of Brains and Brawn.
That's right! And you played my absolute favorite interpretation of death in any media.
Really? Any?
Unironically, I have based a character around your interpretation of death.
Aw, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, she is basically just a regular person who eventually does die, and Death is like, I'm retiring. You're Death now. And
That's fun.
she is just the nicest little person ever, and she would absolutely play football with an old coach as he's lying there dying.
I need to tell you, that character you just described to me, that's Spiritfarer. That's the game Spiritfarer, yeah. My interpretation of Death, I was playing Spiritfarer pretty heavily at the time, so maybe that's where that came from. But yeah, I just liked a version of Death who just like waits in a room for someone to show up and just like lays out the terms and conditions and does whatever the person needs. That it just becomes what that person needs. And yeah, one of the great Game Master Monday scenes is Coach Carmichael dying. and just accepting the fact that he's going to die and just wants to play a game of catch with death. Doesn't even want to like challenge him or anything. Just wants to just hang out.
It makes me cry.
It's a good scene.
It makes me emotional.
Jacob's a sweet boy.
Right now, I'm getting emotional.
Jacob's a sweet boy. I love playing games with Jacob more because he's such a wit and a talent, but he also like really knows how to play those nice little tender moments, which we see a lot in Defeating the Dungeon when he plays the his little Dragonborn guy.
Made me tear up just now.
Yeah,
a little bit.
It's a good scene. It's a good ep.
That scene is really what inspired me wanting to play that character as well. That other person I talked about.
I love hearing it. I'm glad to an impact in your life.
Well, I mean, it's only took you like what 30 years.
Shut up! I'll kill you. Shrumanji.
God, Shrumanji. I wasn't in Shrumanji, but I edited Shrumanji.
You edited Shrumanji brilliantly, I might add.
Holy fuck!
Really good edit. Really good sound design.
I think that was the most I've ever spent on an episode of Game Master Monday.
That's a long one. That's a long episode.
I wanted it to be just so because you guys are nuts.
That is one of those things. Normally when we record an episode, it's very obvious like what we can and will cut from something, right? And that one is
that was a hard one.
All killer, no filler, baby.
I think there's maybe like 2 jokes I cut for the sake of, moving the plot along and for time. But that's about it.
Shrumanji is our second most listened to episode ever.
Which makes sense because, Slay the Stars is extremely popular and we love them.
Slay the Stars. Yeah. Slay the Stars, real popular podcast, came on the show for some reason. And yeah, that if Yuletide put us on the podcasters in general maps, this one cemented our spot in the indie scene. Because of pairing with Slay the Stars and pulling their audience, and a whole bunch of people joined the Discord when Shrumanji went up. The GMM Discord became a side Slay the Stars Discord for a little while there. Just because of how much Leah and the crew brought to that episode. Shrumanji's really funny. Shrumanji's had a lot of just cultural impact on our show. Ratshrew McConaughey. No, who was it? Yeah, it was Ratshrew.
Ratshrew McConaughey and the Titmouse were the first
emojis, right, for our Discord or first react.
The first emojis, yes, and they were also the first finals for Game Master Madness.
That's true. It was Ratshrew and Death from Brains and Brawn who made it to the end, I think, and Ratshrew won.
Yeah. And Ratshrew did one, and then everyone was like in the Discord being like, "Fucking rigged!"
Yeah, rigged by voting.
There was righteous uproar about the Titmouse losing.
Yeah, there was a lot of the Make America Great Again of Game Master Monday is Titmouse should have won in that election.
To be fair, that's what the MAGA movement should be, is just being
upset about a Titmouse who's supposed to
being upset about a Titmouse instead of the reality of life.
So, Jenny, here's the real question before we move on. Are you Team Ratshrew or Team Titmouse?
I think I voted Ratshrew.
Yeah, actually. Me too. I love Ratshrew. That character is a lot of fun because I realized...
He just says all right.
I quickly realized how versatile of a word all right is.
I mean, the Titmouse is great. Like, when you first hear that, I have a cloaca. You're like, oh, this is going to be something special.
It's right after like that mentor character dies, too. And then the Titmouse comes in and they're thinking, this is the thing that we need to really like rally the troops. And I'm just an idiot.
Because the instruction was very much, don't talk to the Titmouse. That guy's just... Oh.
I created that character specifically to troll Leah.
And it worked.
Yeah. It was great.
It worked so hard. She fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. What's next?
Normal Earth Beings, created by... Oh, I haven't mentioned who's been making these games. Shrumanji was made by DC Bradshaw. DC Bradshaw is great. He primarily makes games that are great for children, including Shrumanji, which I made not for kids.
As is often the case.
Jeweled Crown made Normal Earth Beings. I believe this was their first venture into making a TTRPG. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I do not remember.
I believe they were also on the show, weren't they?
Yeah, they were in this episode. It's the first time we put in the game's creator on an episode of their game. So that's Jasper. Yeah. And this also featured Lex from Rainbow Dice Club at the time, Matt from Discount Heroes, and me.
And then I edited this one, if I recall right.
You edited this one, and you are the voice of Alien God in this one, because there's a part where, like, the aliens report back on what they've been doing on Earth, and we didn't have a character to play that, so we all just started jokingly saying that it's Jenny, and God Jenny is a trans woman, and all this stuff, and then you took it and ran with it as the editor.
Because you were at the time being like, Jenny, edit that out, or Jenny, do this, Jenny, do that, and so they kind of like hooked on the joke, like, oh, Jenny is God. Got it.
You had to edit this one because I was editing Defeating the Dungeon at the time.
Mm-hmm. This is a fun one to edit, too. For a lot of different reasons, because you guys were just like you guys gelled really well.
Yeah, it's a good group. It was a fun cast.
I just like doing sound design for Aliens. It's just fun.
That's true. I had a lot of fun. This is my first time playing with Lex, who goes on to be a GMM mainstay for us. And man, I haven't talked to Matt in a hot second, and I'm kind of sad about that now because Matt is so fucking funny in this episode. What? Maybe I will.
Right now.
Maybe I will. Okay.
Text him.
Okay. Matt. Sure. I'll text Matt. Sure.
Get your phone out right now.
Fuck. I don't want to spend a lot of time in the miniseries because they have their own Q&As. But I love Defeating the Dungeon.
I still adore Defeating the Dungeon. Yeah. This was I approached you and was like, hi, can I bring my character from like my current thing that I'm currently playing for this one? And you were like, all right.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted you to make something in my own world, but all right.
I went back and forth from that a lot, but it worked out fine. So, yeah that one starred you and Jacob Moore and Evan Offenbacher, just like two of our ringers from the first season of Game Master Monday. And, I mean, listen, the Q&A is up. You can go listen to that. It's our first miniseries. It's our only D&D miniseries that we're ever going to do.
Ever.
And, yeah.
As a weird aside, this is like the one cast that I think will fix Baldur's Gate for me. This is just I want to make these three characters, put them in Baldur's Gate, and play that.
I will say, Evan plays a gnome rogue in that one. I played a gnome rogue in Baldur's Gate, and that class and race combo is broken. Wow, wow! I got so much farther with a gnome rogue than I did with a fighter. I'll tell you.
Drop in the ocean.
A drop in the ocean. I got sick for this recording.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I was the DM for this one. You had no creative power here, so I'm going to talk.
Yeah, you know what? Fair. I've listened to the episode. I can tell you that the scenario was written by Ammon Hansen, and Adam Brown came up with the classes that we featured in this game, because we just finished Defeating the Dungeon, and A Drop in the Ocean was when we had scheduled for a while, and I was like, oh, we're doing D&D back to back. I better find a way to do a twist on it. So I paid Adam to use some of his custom classes.
It was very fun. Jenna played I want to say like a 5 or 6 year old girl as a necromancer.
Yeah, that's Jenna from Tales from the Forgotten Troop.
And then of course Leah. We had Jeff, one of my favorite human beings on the planet.
Big campaign stories. There's where Jeff is from, and then
Brian.
And then Brian, Dork Day.
I love Dork Day Afternoon. Actually kind of fun.
Is a good ass show. Brian, speaking of self inserts, also played a character from a different campaign for this one shot.
Did he know?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. His character is from a Dork Day Afternoon campaign, so he's carried over into this one. Now. Different system entirely. I think that was from a different system they did. But yeah. Anyway, talk about your episode.
So, Drop in the Ocean was basically just like you are kidnapped effectively by fish people.
Yeah.
And they're trying to pull a Team Aqua from Pokemon on you and raise the ocean level exponentially so that like fish people can rule. And it's great. And I recommend listening to this one because this is like entirely my brainchild, start to finish.
This was Jenny month.
This was Jenny month. This is just a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to like kind of experiment around with and be like, okay, D&D hasn't done these things before, so what do we do in D&D for that? They got lost a couple times, so I had to like kind of like, this is what the plot is. I don't.
Would you say that was a system thing or a player thing?
Honestly, it's D&D. To be fair with you, D&D is very easy to railroad.
No, you're right. And you should say it more.
Because a lot of D&D systems are just like, this is everything you have to know about the city of Faramore, and you're sitting here like, yeah, but I want to talk to that dog. Can I talk to that dog? And the game's like, we don't have anything for the dog.
I'm talking to the dog.
It was a lot of fun. These guys made it work really well.
Can you talk about our next episode in your best Javert impression?
Like Russell Crowe Javert?
Your Javert. Whatever. Yeah, sure. It's Hopes and
Hopes
Dreams.
and Dreams.
from Fairy RPGs.
From Fairy RPGs.
Thank you. Our pal Renee made this game.
Yeah.
Renee is the only person behind Fairy RPGs. He's also made the smash hit Stoneburner.
Good job, you got there.
Yeah, thanks. I love Renee and the games he makes. Jenny GM'd and edited this one too.
Did I?
Yeah. May was May of 23 was Jenny month because Grant needed a GMing and editing break after doing a miniseries.
And it was my birthday.
It was my birthday month. Present. That made sense. Shout out to
all
you
this is the one
out there.
That's right. I'm actually distinctly remembering Hopes and Dreams now.
Yeah, this was the one where we
smokes,
finished it
Jack.
and you were like, I want to do a 4-parter of this and base it off of Les Mis.
Yeah,
which we have not done yet.
And I still really, really want to do that.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will some other year.
Hopes and Dreams is so fucking cool to me because like it's its own world, but you can add on to it however you like.
Yeah.
And I did a whole bunch. I added a lot of it onto it.
We get Jack back for this one.
Of Nice and Them, Nick Perrin
from Tabletopped, who plays a hamster,
and I love his hamster.
And Andy, who of course is from the Homebrew Network. Andy on Power Word Fail and also on the Mythcraft podcast now.
Yeah.
And Andy's a super cool person to know in the space. Nick Perrin is a comedy genius, and Jack is a chaos goblin.
He's unhinged. He played a priest?
Yeah,
named Priest.
Yes.
And
correct.
I distinctly remember that because I think they were trying to like.
That game
listen to the episode.
That game is basically Jack and Nick doing the most insane shit they can think of, and Andy just trying to shoot one person. Please God, let me shoot a gun.
That's right. I remember now. I kind of feel bad because I feel like we put like two big powerhouses who like to
Andy and
talk
Jack
a bunch in the same room. Yeah.
I think this is a full powerhouse cast. Andy's such like a big presence in the space. Tabletopped was a show that I was listening to at the time to get good at being a game master, and Jack is our friend.
We love Jack.
And then Lesbian Werewolf Crime Fighter by Dusty Hill.
I just remembered who I played in this one. I was Moon, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were the meme from 2008.
Lunatsuki. Good old Moon.
This is an in-person recording. We brought Evan Offenbacher and Katie Terry back, and this is our first appearance for Vanessa Assis.
Yeah.
All actor friends of ours, all very funny ladies.
I distinctly remember that one because like we were all in the same room together, and they were like, we all have characters. You're the GM. Why is Jenny here?
Oh yeah, you just sat in silence for 40 minutes as I did a thing with your character.
It was so good.
Yeah. Jenny's character was pretty much the red herring character. She gave me her NPC, and I just decided like, hey Jenny, you're going to be the. I didn't tell you anything actually, did I?
You didn't. I was just sitting there like, okay, so you've introduced these guys. Where me?
Where am I at? Yeah,
that was really fun.
I like writing mysteries. I like writing murder mysteries. And I do it a lot.
This is a great one to listen to because it's a fun little mystery.
Yes. This one was really important to me to cast women who love women, like romantically. So everyone on this cast is either lesbian, pan, or bi.
Yeah. So especially me.
Especially Jenny, who is all of them.
Yeah, I'm lesbian, pan, and bi.
Roots and Flowers, Gabriel Saitano. These two games were part of Gay Master Monday.
That's right.
Our inaugural Gay Master Monday series, where all of our June games were played by LGBT creators. which going forward, I believe all of the vast majority of creators of people whose games we play wind up being that anyway. So Game Master Monday was kind of redundant. But the casts were 100% LGBT plus. Roots and Flowers had a trio of people from Rainbow Dice Club. They had Dusty, Lex, and Zoop on this one. And you, playing an old character from your childhood.
Who is also, again, in Fire Emblem Fallen Kingdom.
And trans, now, from what you've told me.
Yeah, he's trans now. Yeah. That's new.
Congratulations, Price.
He didn't used to be, but now he's Transmask.
This is a real nice game.
It's so pleasant. It's so charming and homey.
Yeah. Roots and Flowers is a solar punk system, which is all about like strengthening your community through natural means, in a punk way. Yeah.
Fuck the system.
Fuck the system.
Grow a yard.
I don't know. You said it. This game is pleasant. It's serene. I like the soundscaping of it a lot.
It's our first time with Zoop.
That is Zoop's first appearance. You're right. And Zoop would go on to set the record for most GMM appearances.
Yeah. Dusty's also in this one. Lex is in this one.
Yeah, Dusty and Lex are really, really great in this one. Lex plays this little, like, farmer tinkerer character. Dusty's a school teacher. It's a fun app. I like this one a lot. And then we get spooky. Agophagus wound up being a bonus episode. Agophagus is from Six Legs Games. You played it in Call of Cthulhu. Jeff comes back, and this is our first appearance for Pond, who only plays with us if Jenny's running a horror game.
And Agophagus has like kind of a fun story behind why it shows up kind of late in GMM cycle, because we tried playing this one a couple times, right?
We played it in person with Katie and her husband John.
Then that recording died.
Yeah, all the audio from that one got corrupted, and there was nothing we could do about it, and we couldn't get them back to reschedule because the timing was bad.
Which worked out because you didn't remember a damn thing about it anyway.
Yeah, once the recording was gone, I just got so sad, and I just lost all memory of it. So we played it again because Six Legs checked up on me and was like, "Hey, when is Agophagus coming out?" And I was like, "Oh fuck."
It's like, I can't just tell them that we lost all the recordings, so let's do it again.
February. I don't remember what we did in its place. It was either Noble Beauty or... No, I put out the Brains and Bronze Classic episode instead because we had to scramble.
That's
why it's there. So listen, Six Legs folks.
We love you so very much.
Thank you for reminding us.
So
Agophagus wound up being one of my favorite episodes. It's genuinely creepy. Jenny does an amazing job. And I made a really cool friend in Pond who is one of my favorite people to play alongside, as you'll see in future episodes. Let's just flirt with this little section here, Jenny. Let's just like give it a passing glance at it and acknowledge it. That summer, we were so tired.
We had just finished defeating the dungeon. We had just finished doing like the month of Jenny.
We had to put out 3 episodes real quick for Pride Month, so we just put up 4 Fantasy First Friday episodes in
summer break. That was Six Gun Showdown for Parsley.
Yep.
The Witch is Dead, which was Aries' Peter episode. Peter the Spider, and I was a frog named Fluffy. I remember that.
And Corvus Christi.
And Spelljammer, which I distinctly remember as the most wasted use of a spell slot in GMM history. Because I was like, I know what I can do to help this elephant out of a tight jam. I'm going to make him wet. Looks at my sheet, is like, oh, I have enlarged reduce. I'm stupid.
That would have been better.
It really would have.
Yeah, I'd love to talk more about these episodes in depth, but there's 4 of them.
That's about as much as I'm going to get into it.
I'll say this. Witch is Dead has been sitting in our top 10 most listened episodes for a while. And I do think it is one of the funniest ones we've put out. That was our Fantasy First Friday October special. That also has Michael Childs, you, and Ari in it. It's so fucking funny. That episode, more than any other episode, has a real friends fucking around energy. Because the 4 of us were all really familiar with each other.
Oh my God, it's God.
Oh my God, it's God. It's a great line. I should talk about Summer Break a little bit here, actually. Summer Break was our first episode, our first ever full cast recording. The full cast was a group of people who do a thing besides our show, and it was the band, the Maybe 4, yeah. So that was Chris and Russell and my best friend Joey Hines and Mandolin, who were in that episode, just playing little kids protecting their tree fort from the police. And
the Sega Saturn was very important in that one, if I recall right.
No, it wasn't the Sega Saturn. It was a Master System.
That's right. It's Master System, you little twat.
No one has a Master System. The only guy in town who has this. Is anyone want to play Alex the Kid with me? Can I have your Nintendo?
That's so fucking funny.
Chris is a fucking force, dude. Man, I love all 4 of these episodes. This is really when Fantasy First Friday was finding its groove. Six Gun Showdown is so fucking funny.
I get so mad at you in Six Gun, don't I?
I said we're gonna flirt with these episodes, but they're all really great. Joel Rude's in Spelljammer. Michael Childs comes back for that one too. Mm-hmm. So, man, if you those 4 games, if you want to go back and just check out our classic episodes, those 4 games are real friends fucking around, which I love.
Then it's a beach episode.
Then the beach episode by Legendary Vermin, friend of the show.
This is the second time you've had a whole podcast on your show doing a side episode of a different show.
This is the second ever full cast recording. So Save the Stars was first. Second one was the Rainbow Dice Club. So
Truly
that was
the spiritual successor to Shumanji.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. It's also a very heavily listened to episode. Full cast episodes always do really well, just because when you bring in a group of people who are so intimately familiar with each other and their play styles and their sense of humor, you make money, baby. You make the good green. We made no money.
And it had Tinder wiki feet, wasn't it?
Nope, it's Tinder OnlyFans and Grindr wiki feet.
That's right. I'm getting them married.
The asexual elven lifeguards. It also had the now infamous Coconut Man.
This is surprising. I know more episodes than I thought I did.
Good, great. I'm glad you do.
Yeah, I'm glad I watch our show.
Yeah, you should watch our show more often, Jenny. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I know. I think I watched every episode at least once.
I've gone on record for a long time saying that Beach episode is, I think, if not one of, then the most hilarious episode of Game Master Monday. It's great. It is jokes a minute. It's gay as hell. Fun dynamic in that episode. I go back and listen to this one sometimes just on my own when I'm doing chores. So and then another all-timer, Play Ball.
God, Play Ball. Everyone is a tour de force in Play Ball.
My good friend Ro Caulfield made this game, and I have not stopped thinking about the system. Jacob comes back for this one. Adam Brown is featured on this episode, and Ricky Gray Jr.,
who we've never had before or since.
Same with Adam.
And let me tell you, Ricky Gray Jr., I think about this man all the time.
I wonder how he is if he was real.
He's one of these guys that's he can't be a real guy.
He can't be a real guy. Ricky is great. Actor pal.
We hit it off immediately, he and I.
Yeah, you two had a really fiery, immediate chemistry. Playing best friends, really riffed off each other well. Ricky Gray was introduced to me by Jacob Moore. Does a lot of theater here in Vegas. So we got to see Ricky perform live in Lombardi here in Vegas. That's right. Jacob,
and he was the
reporter.
Yeah, the reporter.
Jacob directed that show, and we wanted to go support Jacob, and that's how we got to see Ricky in the flesh for the first time, and then he did our show.
Yeah, that's not really related, but
I just wanted to talk about it because anytime
we didn't go see Lombardi at fucking.
We were scouting
Vegas theater, and it's that one. Bring me that man.
Bring him to me.
I want to watch him dance on our show for clout.
Ricky was a slam dunk pick because the intersection of TTRPG and sports fans is a very small circle. It's basically me and Ro.
And me to an extent. I like backyard football as a kid. Come on.
It's me and Ro. So.
Yep, fair enough.
But Ricky is an actor who enjoys playing Dungeons and Dragons and also loves baseball. So when Jacob Moore caught wind that we were doing this, I think Ricky Gray, who you would know as a reporter from Lombardi, would be great for this. Can we get him on? I asked him. He said yes. He came on, and he was a genius.
Out of the park.
We also got to give Adam his flowers, too, because Adam Brown was someone who's been a big fan, big supporter of our show, made the subclasses for Drop in the Ocean, and lives here in Vegas.
Yeah, local.
So we were putting a local cast together. Adam has been really wanting to do the show for a while. We brought him on.
And you're like, come to my house.
Pleasantly surprised. I knew Adam was going to be good. Do not get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying we threw Adam a bone, but like we brought Adam on the show basically not knowing how he would be in real life, because it's weird to bring a person you have not met in real life into your house. But super nice, super funny, perfect character to play. Had a good understanding of the game of baseball and understood my jokes.
Had really good mechanical skill with the game system itself as well.
Also, I will say, all of you had great names. Adams was my favorite one, because it was a very clear riff on an actual baseball player.
It was like Mark Salmon he was basing it off, right?
No, so Adam's character is Mitch Salmon, which is a pun off of Mike Trout.
Right.
from the LA Angels. Then we did I Want Your Bite by Rue Dickey, which is
I woke up that morning. I remember
you were dying that day.
I remember the day of I Want Your Bite. I was like, I think I texted you and it's like, hey, I threw up.
Yeah, you were sick as a dog, which worked out because this is another dating game.
Yeah, and I didn't want to try to date you while I'm barfing. That'd be rude.
Yeah, this one has Jim Stanhope from Dude Was My Drift. Melody, who doesn't really have a podcast home, just kind of works for me, basically. Sai from Diceaholics, and the grand debut of Kim from 5GMs in a Trench Coat on our show, who has come back to do many things for us.
And Jim still has, I think, one of the fan favorite characters of Game Master Monday of all time.
Jim's character is the first character to canonically fuck during an episode. Canonically have had sex during an episode.
That isn't an animal, because the horses did that.
That's why I say character, like first player character. Like it's been implied, like after the fact or behind the scenes or whatever. But like Jim was the first one who was like, I'm fucking that vampire.
And so Jim did. Also, brief aside, I don't know what happened to Jim's audio, but for some reason, anytime there was like a pause, like Jim's mic would cut it out entirely.
Jim was dealing with some bad weather at the time. I remember that.
Yeah.
So we did what we could for Jim's audio.
And I did really well with that audio, I think.
Yeah.
That was when I edited, as I think revenge for my stomach flu getting the better of me.
Yeah. This one went long. This is a long episode, but which is a double-edged sword, right? Because when an episode goes long, it means we're all having fun. It's very much so the podcast equivalent of you reap what you sow, right? One of my favorite.
And it was good.
One of my favorite Twitter memes ever is someone posting like me sowing. No, me reap. No, what is it? Me sowing.
Like, wow,
yeah,
this is awesome.
I love this so much. This is so great. Me reaping. What the fuck? What the fuck? This is awful. That was this episode. Man. Editing this one was a nightmare for you because it was long and there was audio problems, and you had to figure out what to cut and what to keep to not make it 3 hours long.
It was almost 3.5, I think it was.
If you enjoyed I Want Your Bite, I want you all to send Jenny some flowers because she really put her full ass into those edits.
It was a good one. Ghost Storage Facility.
You edited this one too, right?
I believe, yes.
Oh, I know.
I also ran this one.
Okay, I know what happened here. There's a long stretch of Jenny edits here because you do these two and then you do Golden Galaxy Race, and it's because I was editing Bella's Comet.
That's right. And you were like, Jenny.
There's no way I can do two.
I have so much shit
I have to put out an episode a week for the next 3 months. Can you please just take over GMM? And you did, and you did great. Pond comes back. Willow, my dear friend Willow from the RPG Goblin makes her one and only appearance here.
You're here also.
I'm also in this one. Pond and everyone had great chemistry in this one. Me and Pond play like this ghost and himbo besties duo, and Willow and I play like the butting head skeptic and believer thing. Pond is a ghoul.
Pond is a ghoul.
Just man, what a cast! I love this one a lot. This
a ghoul.
This is ghost. This is another system I'd love to see you do more of. This was played in Paranormal Inc.
That's right. Paranormal Inc. is fun.
We did Paranormal Inc. for this one. I don't know what it is about Jenny, but just give her a horror module and she's going to cook.
Hey, we've recently learned that doesn't matter if I'm doing a horror module or not. I just write scary shit.
You like doing horror games quite a bit.
Which is remarkable, because if you meet me in real life, I'm one of the nicest people you'll ever damn see.
You're also a big baby.
It's true.
You don't like horror movies or books or stories or being scared.
The reason why is at a formative age, we had the internet. And this was during the age that everyone would put, like, screamers for no reason in shit. And that terrified me as a kid growing up. So I was like, what if I watch a thing that's going to scare me? So watching a thing with the express purpose of getting scared, hate it.
Listen, one of these days I'm going to bring you to my house and we're just going to watch horror movies that don't rely on jump scares and we're going to have a good time.
I've been doing more of that recently. I recently watched all the Evil Dead movies.
Oh, they're great.
Even the shitty ones.
They're all fun.
Yeah, the 2013 one is by far my least favorite.
Oh, that one's bad. That one sucks. That one's by is that the Rob Zombie one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rob Zombie normally very fun, but that one it doesn't hit for me. If you want a good Rob Zombie movie, watch House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay.
That movie rips.
But yeah, Ghost Storage Facility was basically the, hey, Ghostbusters fucked up. Go fix it, other Ghostbusters.
Jenny, what's your favorite scary movie? Wait, hang on. Let me say it in the Scream voice. What's your favorite scary movie?
Gosh, I don't know. I like Con Air.
It's not a horror movie, Jenny.
It is to critics.
Let's talk about Sock Goblins. Okay. We'll flirt with Golden Galaxy Race. Real ambitious fucking project, huh?
It was ambitious, yeah, but it was actually really easy to edit.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I didn't have to do much for that one because cutting audio was basically nil.
Yeah.
Because all the plot was important. I think we flirted around with cutting like one or two jokes, and you were like, "If you cut that scene with the knight, I will kill you."
Yeah, I would have absolutely done it. I would have driven a car into your bedroom window.
Which is impressive because I'm on the second floor.
I would have found a way.
I know you would have, and it terrifies me.
I just build a ramp outside your house. They're like, "What are you doing? Don't worry about it." Golden Galaxy is great. That had Arthur from Slay the Stars, Melody, Nick Perrin comes back from Tabletop, and of course Kim from 5GMs.
If you want a miniseries that encapsulates everything Game Master Monday is, watch the Golden Galaxy.
Probably this one, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love that one. Real meaningful one. Has its moments. It's really funny. The last thing I'll say about it is, I guess there's a whole Q&A. If you want a more deep dive into that one, go watch that. That one was born because there was no way I was going to be able to do our original miniseries concept for that month and also do Bella's. So I had to take something off my GM plate to make something real easy and low prep. And I love Together Among the Stars, so that's why we did that. Maybe one day...
And it was also really easy to edit, so that was thankful for that.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll do that Call of Cthulhu miniseries, but I couldn't do it mentally.
That year.
I was falling apart editing Bella's.
Sock Goblins.
Sock Goblins by Poor Students.
Where everyone got to use a really funny voice.
Oh my god, this one. One of my favorite episodes. I'm not going to lie to you. I love Sock Goblins.
By Poor Students.
By Poor Students. They're great folks. Poor Students were the first people ever to learn that we were running their game, and as a result of us running the game, they put their game at a discount. So
wow.
So yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
we helped them put their game on sale?
Yeah. That's
cool.
To celebrate the first ever actual play of Sock Goblins, they were so excited about it. They offered their game half off for that whole month, I want to say. So yeah, that was a good time to pick it up if you liked it. Zoop comes back for that one. Kay, of course, and then we have Rem is from Rolls Revamped. But yeah, Sock Goblins. It's just so damn funny. I like doing the holiday episodes a lot because I get to go real bad shit with the tropes. No, this one's really funny just because everyone has a funny goblin voice. Everyone's instincts are like in goblin mode, and it's a fun dice hoarding system. So you get to roll a whole bunch of dice all the time.
I think I ended up with more dice than I physically had.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
I think you had the most dice out of everyone in the group, so you wound up doing the biggest rolls for everybody, and then you like just didn't have enough at certain points. We just improvised.
Yeah, I have 12. No, I have 13 d6s.
Yeah.
And I think at some point I got 14 or 15. I'm like, I don't have enough dice for this.
It got goofy. It got real fucking goofy.
Real fun system, Sock Goblins.
I want to do it again sometime.
And I like the twist that we made it Stocking Goblins, basically.
Yeah, well, I've been wanting to do Sock Goblins for a long time, and it's just like, the other things kept coming up. Then the holidays were approaching, and I knew we were going to do a Yuletide game, so I had to pick the other holiday game. And quite frankly, a lot of like holiday games that get written are like either not well thought out or not complete, or just kind of like, not my thing. Sock Goblins, I was like, wait, like stockings? So that's how that clicked.
This one, I think, it didn't start this thing, but it definitely was the apex of me getting tired of your shit.
You've been tired of
it. As far as like NPC names, because you introduced the Christ family,
and
I was like, I think I need to physically hurt you.
And that wasn't even the worst in that game, because you still had Ball Manor, where every character is a pun on blue balls.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm the best game master in the world, baby. Let's talk about Yuletide Combat 23.
That was when Jacob DM'd it, right?
Jacob GM'd that one, which is something that we decided was going to happen when we were both drunk at Joel Root's house in the summer of 2023. Well, I was drunk for sure at that party, and I was like, Jacob, do you want to run a game on the show? He's like, sure. And I was like, do you want to do Yuletide? He's like, sure. Then I asked him again when I was sober, and he was like, sure.
This is one where I actively pog-champed during a recording, because like he did. Okay, for you, the fucking 39-year-old motherfucker.
33.
The 48-year-old motherfucker.
Jesus.
That's basically when you're just like, you have like a big mouth agape moment, and you're so excited.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, Jacob crushed that opening monologue.
Yeah, the minute he starts his opening monologue, and I'm realizing he's building off the world that I made last time, I'm like, that's so fucking cool.
Jacob went real Beautiful Mind on this one. He got real into the lore of the first one. He wrote out actual stat blocks and like what the attacks did. He gave everyone note cards for their moves. Jacob full assed that fucking recording, which is more than I've ever done for any episode of Game Master Monday ever.
He put his whole ass into it.
The second episode of Defeating the Dungeon was 100% improvised, and Jacob wrote postcards for Yuletide Combat Family. I love that, man. This one also is a fun new cast member, big deal for me personally. So we brought Vanessa back. Evan, Aaron, you, me are all on this one. But Nicole from We D&D is on this episode. Huge fucking get for me personally, because We D&D along with Rude Tales of Magic is what really got me into actual play. We D&D, for the uninitiated, is a Twitch show where it's a weed forward show. So before they play every game of Dungeons and Dragons, the whole cast gets fucking high. They're all smoking pot during the whole thing, and I love their tagline, We D&D, it's high fantasy.
Such a fucking good tagline.
They're so funny. A lot of people that I know make that show. I've been in shows with Abby Dandy and Brenna Folger from that show here in Vegas. I went to high school with Brenna, and it's just cool to see her still at the top of her game as a performer. Getting Nicole from We D&D was literally me shooting my shot with the person who runs their social media. It's like, if anyone from the cast is available, we'd love to have them. It was originally going to be their dungeon master, Bam, who I would have shat my pants over. But then they told us, like, well, Bam's not available. He's playing Macbeth. So, but Nicole is available. I was like, holy shit, I love Nicole so fucking much on that show. And I've never met her. And she came in, fit right in, gelled with us. I'm dying to get Nicole back on the show. I will one day, but just a phenom, a fourth of a cast, a lot of people. So we had to do our recording style differently for that one.
Mm-hmm. We had to play musical microphones, basically.
Yeah. But yeah, go check out We D&D. They're friends of ours, and that was the show that made me think, wow, you really can make an actual play podcast just with Vegas performers, which is really how GMM got its birth.
Void 1680 AM was you sitting in a room, playing this thing from Boundless Games and basically just like flexing, like, hey, look how many Vegas bands I know.
That game is made by our pal Ken Lowry. If you want to hear Void 1680 AM used to its full effect, you should listen to mini-series that Tales Yet Told did for it. Like, oh my god, that was so good. But that one was a lot of fun because it was the new year. I thought it was going to just be something fun and easy to do to put out on January 1st. Because it fell on a Monday that year. It's like a New Year's radio special, and I got to feature a lot of my favorite local bands and artists, particularly our theme song's creator, Joey Hines.
Yeah.
A lot of Joey Hines songs in that episode. I don't have a lot to say about it, but Ken Lowry made that game. Ken Lowry is a genius, one of my favorite people on the internet. But listen, I love that episode, but go listen to Tales Yet Told's 1680 AM playthrough. Like, Jesus Christ, so much better.
It's really meta because it's a podcast inside of a podcast.
Yeah. Oh, I have always wanted to mention this. So the character I play in that game is called Grain Conception, which is a name that I got by using an NPR host name generator.
There you go.
Apotheosis Janitors
by Wendy Yu.
Oh my god, I love this episode. So we have the Space Jamber on this one. John from Lizards and Locations. Author Keisha's on this one. Lauren from Monster's Playbook. Ross from Blades of Mayari's on this one. Powerhouse fucking group. And the first episode to ever feature live world building. Because that's how the game works. This is the first game. I was trying to give a shout out to Ross, especially on this one. This is the first game that Ross makes an appearance in, and Ross has since become one of my very dear friends. A brilliant creator, an excellent game master, was a Crit Award nominee for sound design because Blades of Mayari sounds like a fucking dream kissing your brain. The game is also just a lot of fun because we got to make a cult. It's live cult world building is what this one is.
Hey, you want to invent a Jesus?
Pretty much, and they did. They invented a pretty good Jesus. I believe he was just a guy. Well, the whole premise of that game is Apotheosis Janitors. Like, your cult leader ascends to godhood, and you are now responsible for removing all traces of his previous humanity from the world. Which in this particular game meant they had to go to Cuba and get rid of some meat, if I recall correctly.
What a weird fucking thing.
I love Apotheosis Janitors. Wendy, you really hyped us up during that time frame, so thank you, Wendy.
Yeah.
Neon Shadows by our friend Squidzy.
God, I love Neon Shadows.
Our friend Squidzy at Lost Guide Games did this one. One of the second GM-less game we've played on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Together Among the Stars is GM-less,
so
yeah, you're in this one. This one also featured Savannah, the DIY witch, for those who are unfamiliar with them on Threads. You might know Savannah more, though, from their recurring role on Castleton.
That's right. Mm-hmm. I love Castleton.
Castleton's good.
This one also gives me a fucking brain damage to the side of my skull with a baseball bat because
why?
Savannah comes up with an NPC midway through, and they're like, "Oh, what's the name of the small child gonna be? Oh, it's gonna be Jenny." And I'm like, "Hey,
that me?
Hold on,
me, Jenny.
Why am I small? Why am I in this?"
That one's fun because you get Savannah talking to herself at one point.
Yeah. That's always funny when that happens because like all the players have to be NPCs too.
I'm very on record as not being a huge GM-less games person, but I love this one. This is the one that I like.
This is a really fun one. Neon Shadows is very much just like, here is the world that we currently have. You can build upon it where you like, but it's all live.
And I like,
and you all have to figure it out together.
I like finding emotional moments through card play. Squidzy is the second creator to ever be on the show playing their own game, and I'm going to say Squidzy will be the last one that we ever have doing that, because my general philosophy is don't do that, but for this one I was like, I do want Squidzy to play it though, because I love Squidzy and she was on Bella's Comet, and I really need someone who knows that world inside and out to kind of just like be our guidepost. So we put Squidzy on that show, but I shan't be doing it again, not for any like thing that happened. I just don't want the pressure.
And then we had
Spin the Bottle.
Yeah, the other spiritual successor to Shumanji, because you had the entire cast of 5 GMs in a trench coat on this one, didn't you?
Yes, I did. So good. Jenny's not in this one, which is fine. Part of the course for our full cast episodes. This is created by the illustrious Super Dylan, friend of the show. But yeah, Super Dylan created this game. 5 GMs in a trench coat play it brilliantly. This one's supposed to be GM-less. It's kind of like a hidden role game. It's about discovering who has a crush on someone within the group. So we made it real meta. It was a D&D party throwing a party before their last session. So the first part of the game is them playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then it goes into the actual people playing those characters, playing Spin the Bottle, and like hashing out the drama that's been happening in their campaign while playing Spin the Bottle.
You know, I love meta games.
Yeah.
So fucking much.
That one's really fun.
I think that's about as meta as it gets, doesn't it?
Yeah. A lot of smooching in this one. A lot of smooching. Really respectful smooching. Kissing. If you want a good time, if you listen, for those of you out there who are like, I want a really funny time, get 5 people who are insanely close friends, know each other like the back of their hands, are best friends, are making a podcast together, and tell them you're all going to flirt with each other now. Some people will take to it like a duck to water, and some people will get so giggly and so nervous. If you've never listened to 5 Gems in a Trench Coat, but you listened to this episode, I have to tell you all, Adam, who is one of the GMs, of course, the character he plays, that really charismatic, horny guy who flirts with everybody, and is like a general stirrer of the pot, an agent of chaos, a maniac, he's just like that. That is just so. If you like that vibe, and Adam is always like this as a player. Sing the song with me here, Jenny. Castaway, we are castaways. Ahoy! You didn't watch Backyardigans?
No, can't say that I have.
This game is made by Afterthought Committee. Our friend Riley made this one around the Kyoto.
Dusty's back.
What?
Dusty's back.
Dusty's back. Dusty was the creator of Lesbian Werewolf Crime Fighters. My brain is melting the longer this chat goes on. My brain is turning into goo.
We've already passed our 90 minute mark.
Yeah, we're at the 90-minute mark. We're in season 3. We're cooking. Dusty
Star.
from Goblets and Gays and An Unwavering Force is on this one. Star, who is the host of Characters Without Stories. Julianne Kastner from Wing Women, and Fiona from What Am I Rolling? God, I love this episode so much.
This is one I haven't watched yet. I need to buckle in and watch this one.
You should. This is a game about survival. It's a brutal ass fucking mechanical game. Except unless you're Star, who was rolling like gangbusters the whole time. This game is a death mechanic where you can turn into a ghost. No one did, though, in this one. Spoilers, I guess. That cast gelled so well together. Dusty plays an influencer. Star plays a stoner. Julianne Kastner plays this, like, fucking, like, World War II British, like, soldier officer kind of guy with, like, big girl dad energy. The voice she comes up with kills me for it. And Fiona is a crossword puzzle champion. Excuse me, a disgraced crossword puzzle champion.
I need to find out how. I need to watch this episode.
I forget if we talk about it or not, but yeah, that's the big gag, that like she was like a world-class crossword puzzle solver and something happened and she was on the way to a tournament to redeem herself.
Caught cheating using Google or something.
Listen, everyone on this show is a big get, in my opinion. I love Goblets and Gays. I've loved Goblets and Gays for a long time. So getting Dusty was amazing. What Am I Rolling? Another podcast I listened to before I started this show to learn how to get good at GMing. Star, I think, hosts the best TTRPG talk show on the planet.
Wow.
Her show is so fucking good and well thought out. I've been on it, and I remember walking away from that recording being like, I can't believe what she's done to me. She got me to open up
How could you do this
about things I didn't read. I came on that show to talk about a joke of a character that I made named Orko the Magnificent, and then we got to the root of my religious trauma. So it's a great show. And Wing Women, oh my god, is a brilliant fucking queer podcast using the Night Witches system about Russian World War II female fighter pilots.
That sounds exclusively up my alley.
It's so up here. I've been telling you about it for years, and you have not checked it out, and you need to.
God.
Everyone's listening to Wing Women. Like, fucking God. Fuck. Shit. Damn. Let's talk about it in Search of Dr. Seuss.
It scared me. You say you're not good at horror, but
I'm good at horror. I'm bad at systems.
Okay. So this one was very much just you and me sat down in a room one time, and we're like, "Hey, do you remember that fucking documentary we used to watch as kids?" Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. In Search of Dr. Seuss is a very charming little documentary about the life and times of, well, Dr. Seuss, and pulls no punches that Nazis are bad.
Yes. So this one features a full cast of Roleplay Retcon, another full cast episode. But yeah, so that was based off of a 1984 documentary about Dr. Seuss. It was made for, get this, Spike TV.
Really?
Yeah. No, for TNT. I apologize. It was made for TNT. But yeah, it's me turning the world of Dr. Seuss into a bunch of horror characters. The guys from it's Alex, Ben, and Gen Z from Roleplay Retcon, who are just hilarious people. You were on this one.
Mm-hmm. And the moral of the story is stop making Dr. Seuss movies.
That's my personal vendetta, my own demon to fight. I was looking for like the hook of how I could make that movie, that documentary, into a horror, and I was like, oh, we make it a commentary on the post-death life of Dr. Seuss's works and how they're cash grabs, which is what he never wanted. Not to say that Dr. Seuss is a flawless human being or anything, but like, come on. Then we did Knowing Revenge of the Grasping Gods from Urania Games. That's a Jenny G episode.
This one's me. And it was D&D again, and this is the first time and last time I will ever DM anything with level 20 characters.
You couldn't make it hard enough.
I really couldn't. They were too strong. I thought I made the guys that they fought pretty fucking tough, and then Dungeons & Dragons was like, hang on, watch what I can do.
Level 20 stupid. I play a little cicada in this one.
You do.
Evelyn from Magic Academy is on this one. Sierra, who we better know as Rage Panda Pajamas, is on this one. And Meijay from Damsels in Distress is on this one.
Great cast.
Great cast. Everyone's super good. Everyone brought... It was very funny watching D&D pros like Evelyn and Sierra like dance through the raindrops of their character sheets, while Meijay and I just looked at our rogue and barbarian characters being like, I've never played a character this big before. What do?
I have too many things. Give me one thing.
What did you like about GMing this one?
This one was interesting because, one, of course, level 20 characters are always hard to work around. And two, really fun, open-ended module because it gives you a list of what these rooms are like, but doesn't give you specifics.
Yeah.
So I just kind of...
You have a lot of flexibility.
It gives you a lot of flexibility, of course, and the ending can be really up to interpretation because it doesn't give you an explicit ending. It just gives you, this is the god that makes gods. Now what?
Now what? What do now?
So I'm like, okay, I'll give them a bunch of choices. You can either become gods, you can kill God and destroy magic forever, or you can just let the cycle continue for somebody else, double it, pass it to the next guy. They decided to kill God.
Spoilers. Just kidding.
Whatever.
If you're at this point.
It's if you haven't watched it by now, watch it.
Yeah. Speaking of, Sherwood.
Sherwood.
Another Jenny.
I ran this one too.
I'm going to let you run the gauntlet on this one, because this is the day that my water heater exploded. We had a whole other episode lined up. We had to scrap it for scheduling reasons because we couldn't get the cast together. And then we last minute asked people on Threads to come play with us. So you got Rosie, Janelle, and Jonas, who does RP Jesters.
And let me tell you, for a last minute cast in a last minute game, I have never had this much fun with such little prep.
Yeah, you killed this one.
These guys knocked it out of the fucking park, and we dicked around with the idea of making this from a single episode to a full miniseries. It was that good.
Maybe one day we will.
Maybe one day we will. This one was great because I believe Rosie was. I'm gonna mix up their characters because they're just all so good. I think Rosie was the drunk priest, wasn't it?
That was Janelle.
Janelle was the drunk priest,
nun.
and then Jonas. Mm-hmm.
Rosie was your runaway bride, and Jonas was the French person.
Is the French peasant who just wanted to get in, get out, get rich quick. And it was all about, killing King Arthur, who just came back in time to the times of...
It was Merlin.
Or no. It was Merlin, yeah, who went to the times of Robin Hood, bringing back, King Arthur and the Right of Kings. Because Merlin saw what was going on and was like, this is fucked up. Let's go back to the old one.
I like the idea of bringing back the Right of Kings in the Robin Hood universe because it definitely was still happening.
Yeah, it definitely was still happening. But, it's like... We have the Right of Kings, yes, but we've lost the plot.
You're not cool anymore. You need heroes and adventure.
Exactly. All you're doing is being shitty and fat.
Let's take a little on our little railroad here. On your left, you'll see Bunnies and Burrows, our third mini-series. So I'll wave at it. That one really launched us into a new realm of creators who want to play with us.
Yeah.
So shout out to Derek and Sadie and Zoop and Jenny for making that show. I don't want to talk a lot about it. There's a Q&A. It was really just go check it out. It's one of my favorite things I've ever made.
Pantheon
by Harpoon Gun. This is a GM-less technically game where no one knows who the game master is going to be until the game starts.
That's cute.
And you know what? It was still me.
Oh,
it was still me.
That's not as fun, though.
The premise of that game is everyone rolls a d20 at the beginning of the game, and whoever rolls the highest number becomes the game master.
So it was you again. You rolled.
I rolled a natural 20.
Ha!
My work is never finished, and I'm going to die doing this show. But this one had Alejandro Mariah from Table. Yeah, you got it.
Hey, I have the list too, dude.
It had Onduin from Roll D5, Extel, who does a whole bunch of shit. Extel's a professional game master. You should hire him to run your next Vampire the Masquerade game. Rosie comes back to save my ass again, and Ross is back from Blades of Mayari. I don't know why. I always put Ross in games that involve gods. This one's a lot of fun. You get to have 4 game masters in it. The primary one, the 3 minor gods who play like that kind of pantheon thing, and then 3 players who are appealing to all of us. Alejandra, Mariah, and Ross were my co-gods, and they all independently decided that they're going to conspire against me and organize a coup.
And you know what? I would have too.
It's a very funny choice to make. It's very funny.
Don't Kill a Bird with a Baseball by Rat Bastard Games, and let me tell you,
I love you, JD.
Holy shit.
Another good one. Another good cast.
Mm-hmm.
It's Emma, who oversees Tabletop Tailspinners, Harlow from 2 Monsters Rolling Dice, and Tori from Level 1 Geek. Funny fucking people.
If you ever wanted to test the bounds of what you can play as a character, I think Harlow takes the cake here by playing a literal jukebox possessed by the spirit of
Randy Johnson. Arizona Diamondbacks Hall of Fame pitcher Randy Johnson. This is a brilliant game. Rat Bastard Games is so good at making shit like this. Yeah. This one's just incredibly funny. Everyone plays a very funny Randy Johnson. Emma's is obsessed with horses. Harlow is a jukebox, as you mentioned. Tori just wanted to sing.
And
you were trans.
Just playing stuff close to home because I was transgender.
A transgender Randy Johnson. Which
I think it has one of my favorite trans jokes in it too, doesn't it?
Is that Trandy Junson? Is that what you did?
Yeah, Trandy Junson.
So stupid. God, I adore that game. Our baseball episodes are always good.
Yeah. Where did it happen twice? So Yuletide Combat in July, DM'd by Aaron Berry, who was extraordinarily stressed out about this, and then I think had the most fun of all of us.
I agree.
Of course, had Edvin and Jacob back on it because we always have to have them for Yuletide, and then us too.
It's all in the family, this one.
Mm-hmm. Going back to our Yuletide roots, and had 2 of my favorite NPCs, which was Amazon Optimus Prime and the fucking H.H. Gregg logo from the Christmas in July commercials that they put out.
Yeah, you really took the Christmas in July theme to heart for sure. You went full commercialism.
I did. Because what else are you gonna do when it's July except have a sale? This one was fun because I believe it was. Did Evan win this one finally?
No, I did. I win this one.
You won this one,
yeah.
And Evan has just been in this loop of losing all the time.
Evan usually makes the finals, but she didn't this time. I beat her finally.
Yeah. And she was a little upset about that, but that's fine.
One day she'll GM it. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So then she can make herself win.
We finally did my dream thing of bringing the idea of Donald Trump onto the episode and just making fun of him the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was great.
The Cash Cab is in this one. Aaron was off the fucking rails. I loved it. Fortune Favors Fangs will forever live in infamy in my brain. Because it's a great episode. It's insanely funny. The timing, the pacing, everything is great. I did not play this game correctly. I did not use the game's main mechanic, and Sadie let me know about it, and I will never live it down, and I'm embarrassed by it.
Oh God, I'm so sorry to hear that.
No, I
still a fun episode.
Zoop tried to save me, and I just didn't listen. I thought she was wrong, and that's on me. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that to a person. But the episode is a lot of fun. If you just want a funny little vampire romp about a lesbian polyamorous crew of vampires, it's a great story. The story is very funny and good. But I didn't play the system right, so tune in to another future episode where I do Fortune Favors correctly. But it's still really good. Gen Z from Roleplay Retcons on this one. Taylor, who was on our Camp Meadowview miniseries, is on this one. And Zoop's back.
We love Zoop.
We love Zoop.
Otherworldly Flesh by Francisco Lemos is spooky.
Well, you made it spooky.
I kind of made it a little spooky. I wanted a Lethal Company kind of vibe with this one, and I actively jump scared you guys, and that was kind of fun for me.
You used your soundboard against us. I'll never forgive you.
Had Rara, our good friend Rara.
From the Heart is a Dungeon.
From the Heart is a Dungeon, and someone I have fallen in love with, I think.
Yeah, hard not to. Hard not to.
Mm-hmm. Got Lex again. We love Lex.
Lex, and of course we have the debut of Mare, who is now
hello, Mare.
Oh, hello, Mare, from the Old Ways podcast.
One of my favorite Discord usernames.
Yeah, that's her username across all her socials.
Yeah. Otherworldly Flesh is technically a body horror where you are exploring this gigantic living ship. And not to toot my own horn here, I think the creator of this game actually DM'd us and was like, hey, a mechanic you put in this, I think I want to put in for the next version of our game. And I'm like, that's fun. That's cool.
I love getting that message from Francisco. Jenny introduced some cool things on the fly here that are going to be in the literal game going forward.
And I think that's pretty nifty.
Ra also plays, I think, one of the all-time greatest Game Master Monday characters in Chad GPT.
Let me tell you, I had my doubts about Chad GPT going in, but then Ra knocked it out of the fucking park.
Ra always does. That's what that's what they're good at. Just
blasting off again.
A genius motherfucker. Blasting off again. 5 Point Games. A stacked fucking cast. Adam from 5GMs in a Trench Coat. Eli from Mayday Roleplay. Juicy from All Our Fault. Super Dylan, for fuck's sake. Taya from Damsels in Distress. All playing a Pokemon Team Rocket type game.
All-star cast. All-star idea for a game.
Yeah, 5 points. Really great. They have a lot of cool custom art for their Genmon in this game, but we made up our own. Dylan and Juicy, I mean, all of them, all 5 of them, just regularly gut punched me with their jokes in this one. But nothing made me laugh harder than when Dylan introduced themselves and they said, Ash is a sopping wet boy.
You know that the Tumblr ships Ash's mom and Jesse?
Yes.
Together now?
I do know that.
That's pretty cool.
I'm pretty into that one. Dylan just on the fly chose their name as Ash, didn't come into the big game plan, and by the end of it just made a huge character choice.
That's great.
Everyone here is so funny. I one thing that goes criminally unheralded from this episode is Taya's voice in this one. Taya is a British actress, incredible performer, and typically does a lot of drama and crying. but chooses to go like moody American teen in this one, and it's so fucking funny. But everyone's so fucking funny. Adam is like a competitive Pokemon tournament player, and they leaned into that kind of trope. We riffed on a lot of the Pokemon things. Eli plays a himbo in this one, and for as much as Eli loves ghosts, very appropriate for them to get a ghost type as their partner randomly. Juicy plays James from Team Rocket, like just straight up, it's just James.
I'm glad. It's a fun time. One of my favorites.
We're hitting this little like stretch here. The last 3 episodes we put out for Game Master Monday, I think we're just at the top of our game right now. Because after
we're really doing amazing things right now. Because Serving Up Disaster by Malamute.
Oh my god!
Holy fuck!
Have you listened to this one yet?
I have. I've started like the first half of it, and then I got distracted.
Great,
as I often do.
You haven't even heard the best part yet, then. The ending.
I haven't, and I'm upset about it.
The ending is one of the stupidest fucking endings we've ever had on the show.
Don't spoil it for me. I haven't watched it yet.
This is Kim from 5GMs again, Ben from Roleplay Retcon, Mazarel, who does a lot of her own personal streaming, and does is an amazing DM in her own right. It's on Castleton, and Cohen from Skull Tenders, the GM there, played our celebrity chef for this one. Raymond Kidd.
God, I love Raymond Kidd. God, all-star cast. This is just a fun little episode.
Landing Cohen from Skull Tenders. I mean, landing and anyone who wants to do our show ever always amazes me. But when we start pulling people like Eli, like Dylan, like Cohen, I'm like, wow, we're really making something special here that people want to be a part of. Skull Tenders, legit one of the funniest game shows, actual plays on the planet. Like 3 of my favorite internet people, including Casey Green and Amber and Jess, who's Voidburger. And I can't believe Cohen did our show and was so generous with their time and talents to do this with us. Same with Ben, same with Maz, same with Kim. The rapport they all had instantly was so funny. That restaurant is insane. And I think Ra said it best. He's like, it's just fun to imagine a world where you can eat anything you want and it's just readily available to you without question. So a great one. And then the last one we put out most recently, Eat the Reich.
Eat the Reich.
From Rowan Rook and Descartes. We got Abby, who's done a lot of shows. Tot, who's the showrunner and star of Soul Operator. Zach, who's a TTRPG nomad, does a lot of cool shit. Wow, just a hard game for me to run as a person who's not a module person or an on-the-rails person. So having Zach was really helpful for me to keep my story straight. Abby is a hurricane in anything she's in. Just a real fucking force of a player. Really leaned into like the brutality of the game. Just reveled in violence. Give Abby a gun and she's gonna just go fucking bananas. I really love the way that Tot thinks and speaks while she's in character. So just a real like diverse, interesting group. And you get to kill Hitler.
Yeah.
Get to drink all of Hitler's blood. And that, my dear Jenny, has been every single episode of Game Master Monday.
I say this a lot, but like we've really have scrounged our way up from nothing.
We fought
and
for it,
made something. We've been fighting tooth and nail, and we, I think, have made something kind of special in the TTRPG space, because GMM is like that like nice comfort, like Monster of the Week cartoon in the TTRPG space. I think sure. It's just an episode of Johnny Hunt. You can start anywhere and be fine. Yeah. And I love that for us, and I love the people that we've met, and it's been a ball, and I can't wait to keep this going until I'm 80.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows out there that do one-shots, like One Shot.
Yeah,
that Dylan hosts, but I like ours because we do like a movie-length episode every 2 weeks with full soundscaping, an entirely new cast. Our show is insane, and for it to like even work is a miracle, let alone have an audience. So I'm always grateful for it.
We shot for the moon and landed on Jupiter.
Yeah, for real. So if you enjoy Jenny and I yapping about things, I promise the next one we do of this won't be so long, but we are strongly considering we're going to be launching a Patreon here next year.
Yeah.
at some point.
So if you like more of this, subscribe to maybe a Patreon.
We'll cover the previous quarter instead of a full 2 fucking years of the show. Possibly have a guest who was on one of the episodes if we can swing it.
Maybe talk about our live shows for a change.
Yeah, we'll do one that's just for the live shows and the G-Men Present series, because we've been talking for 2 hours in the water.
Sorry. I've had water. What are you talking about?
I haven't. Upcoming stuff. When the End Comes is already out at this point.
Yeah.
Jenny GM did. It's really good.
Yeah.
You're going to hear me do Rafenheim, and then our Hell Whalers miniseries comes out. And I'm going to tell you all who's in Hell Whalers. I'm going to announce the cast right now. There's a special treat for you all for sticking around. Hell Whalers. We'll start Jenny. We got her.
Hi.
Ra.
I know. Huge jab.
It has Ra from The Heart of the Dungeon. Ross from Blades of Mayari. And the CEO of the Crit Awards, Ivy herself, will be joining us for that miniseries.
So excited for Hell Whalers.
I'm so excited for Hell Whalers. But yeah, we're launching a Patreon sometime next year. More chats like this, much shorter. We'll cover the previous season. For those who don't know, seasons are marked by a miniseries. So when a miniseries goes up, the next one shot that comes out is a new season for us. Our Patreon will feature an exclusive 3rd miniseries, a whole bonus extra miniseries just for you for giving us money. They might even be a little bit longer than 4 episodes. Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know yet. We haven't done one yet. We'll be launching a bonus channel within our Discord just for Patreon subscribers, where you can see our GM notes, outtakes, bonus goodies we'll put in there. We'll be less coy about what we're planning and working on and who's going to be in stuff. So you might get some early goodies. And we want to hope to use any money we make from Patreon or even a Twitch affiliate status, should we choose to launch that, to make the show better, make it so Jenny doesn't work at Target anymore.
And thank fucking God.
And hopefully one day be able to reimburse our casts and guest GMs in a meaningful way if we make enough. But yeah, thank you all for sticking around with us for 2 full years. Our 2025, I gotta tell you all, is gonna be fucking nuts. Jenny, should I tell them what we're gonna do in December while I have them?
Ooh, maybe.
Should I flirt with that? I won't tell you.
Flirt with December.
Okay, December. I'm gonna flirt a little bit. December is gonna feature another full cast episode and a super stacked non-Yuletide holiday special with, and I don't like using this as an advertising point, but I'm going to just mention it here, the biggest cast we've ever had, like recognition-wise.
Wow.
Yeah. The Game Master Monday holiday special is going to be real special.
Did you get Jenny?
I didn't. She was busy. She started to lock down.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe
I get it.
Maybe we'll fire her.
I've asked her about, going to things sometimes, and she's like, no, I can't this week.
Yeah, no, she's really hard to pin down. And I hit her. Bye!
Oh, bye!